Yo, what's going on, guys? Brandon here from B&T's Radical Boas and Pythons, and today we are doing a snake tool video. So get ready, here we go. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is feeding. So when you're feeding, I would highly suggest that you do not use your hands. A lot of people have to feed live rodents, and that's where you just put the rodent in the cage and close up the cage and the snake eats it. I personally try my best not to do that. I either pre-kill or I feed frozen thawed, and in doing that you have to use tongs. These are smaller tongs. These are what I use to feed my babies and slightly juveniles. For the bigger snakes, such as the big boas I got behind me here, I use these tongs. These are 24-inch hemostats. They work very well to keep a distance between me and that big snake's mouth, because I do not want to get bitten. So that's it for the feeding. And then let's see here. Next thing that you're going to need in your enclosure is a water dish. So I see a lot of people in their cages using these little deli cups for water dishes. And for like a baby or something like that, say a baby corn snake, a baby king snake, you know, a hog nose, something like that, these are great. Maybe even a baby ball python. But keep in mind, the bigger that snake gets, the more it's going to lean on this and tip it over. And when you tip over water bowls in your cages, trust me, it is just a big, wet, nasty mess a lot of the times. So, and I've seen a lot of people use a little bit heavier dish, like these little hamster bowls that I have. I use these for my rats and mice in the tanks that I have, but a lot of people use these as water dishes, and again, they work okay until the snake gets heavy and dumps it over. And in the boa enclosures I have back here, I'm actually using these dog water bowls right here. And I do that because the snake is so thick that it won't get up under here and turn it over. And this is actually nice and flat and wide, so that even with pressure it doesn't turn over. It works really good on these boas actually. And of course, as they age, I want to have to get a bigger bowl of some sort, and I'm hoping to get the big glass bowls, ceramic, like these. These are a smaller one, of course, but these work absolutely phenomenal in snake racks and snake cages alike. They're heavy, good weighted, they're nice and white, so that you can see any nastiness that's in the bowl that you need to clean out. It's just overall just a great water bowl to have in your cages. So that's it for the water dishes. Now, another thing that you're going to need in an enclosure is heat. In most snake racks, either homemade or store-bought or online purchased, which is store-bought. Anyways, you'll have heat tape on either the back or the bottom of the rack. In doing that, you will need a thermostat, and that's what I'm about to show you right now. Okay, so here you have another, this is actually called a rheostat, which is pretty much a thermostat, honestly. It has a probe that is run under a heat pad for the Burmese, and here's where it plugs in the heat pad is plugged in here, your probe is here, and this is for your heating box, and it's ran into the wall. I personally would not suggest these because the heat range is just not the greatest, and it doesn't hold a good temperature all the time. Like right now, this one is reading about 92.8, and I know that that is not right because I just checked it a minute ago, and it was right at 87.6. So that's not accurate. But anyways, let's look at another thermostat. Okay, so here you have another type of thermostat. This is actually 3 different thermostats, and each one runs 2 separate enclosures. So 2, 4, 6 enclosures I'm running off of these 3 thermostats, and you can tell here that it's 90 degrees on each of the hot spots. But with all the cypress mulch on top of that and all that, it gets to about 87 degrees on the top of it. All of these are on a timer that have a night drop as well. That's for the breeding season. You can drop their temperatures as gradually as you need to during the evening hours. And let's move on to the next thing we need. All right, so talking about heat, and a lot of say that you have a 10-gallon aquarium that you're putting a baby corn snake in, a king snake, a baby ball python, which, you know, that's all well and good. I like to use totes myself just because they're a little bit smaller and the animal feels a lot more secure in them. But either way, underneath those, you should have a heating pad. This is a heating pad, a Reptile heating pad. You just plug it up into the wall. I'm sorry, not into the wall, into a thermostat. There we go. And then plug your thermostat into the wall, and it will keep this pad at a certain temperature. And or you can plug your thermostats into heat tape or a heat lamp. Any of those work absolutely great. So we're going to move on here to check your temperatures. You're going to need a heat gun. You can get these for about 20 bucks off Amazon. Not bad at all. Say that how you check the temp of my hand is 94 degrees right now. Okay, so you would just take this, hover over the hot spot, get the temperature, and that temp is 82 degrees right here on the hot spot of this cage. Now, the ambient temp in the room would be 78 degrees. You always want to keep an eye on your temperatures because, for example, ball pythons especially, you need to have those temps just right in order for them to thrive in their environment. So that's it for the heating elements. Also, you need a thermometer, not a thermostat. I am off today. Anyways, a thermometer, and also this has a thing to check the humidity as well right here on top. So my humidity is 52, 54 now, and the temperature in the room here is 79.7. So I just keep these, I have them in 2 areas of the room, and that's just to keep an eye on the temperatures. I use the temperature gun most of the time, but for my humidity levels and all that, I use these. You can grab these at Walmart for like super duper duper cheap. Those are awesome. Also, what you're going to need in your enclosures is a hide of some kind. This can range from anything. I've seen people literally use cardboard boxes as a hide, and it works great. You know, it's cheap, it's easy, it works. I personally, I use these little plastic serving bowls that you buy at Walmart. There's like 10 in a pack with lids. I don't ever use the lids. I just cut a little hole here. Snake will go right in there. Makes a perfect cheap hide. It's awesome. Of course, this will be for a baby or a juvenile snake. If you're going a little bit bigger, get a wash tub. Dollar General, $1.25. Wash tub. Cut a hole in it. Boom. Snake hide. Awesome. Cheap. Love it. You can buy snake hides online. They are nice, and you're going to pay a nice price for them. But if that's what you would rather do, more power to you. So, another thing that you're going to need is you're going to need snake hooks. I know that a lot of you all out there are like, oh, you know, it's okay to be bit, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you use a snake hook and you hook train your snakes, meaning that you take a hook and you slightly tap it on the head, and it then will know every time that you tap it on the head, hey, it's not feeding time. It's time for me to come out or be handled. That's personally what I do. It works great. So there's different sizes of snake hooks. This one here is from Midwest Tongs. It's a great little snake hook for all the baby snakes. I love this little thing. And you have your slightly bigger hook here. This is what I use for the boas mostly right now. And the bloods as of right now, because that's about the size that they are. And the Burmese, actually. I use this. Love this little hook. This snake is also from Midwest Tongs. And then here's a slightly L-shaped hook for your larger snakes. This is also called an industrial hook. You could literally use this for any size of snake. I'm mostly planning on using it for my larger constrictors as they age, just to slightly slide them towards me. If need be, I can grab them out of the enclosure a lot easier that way. So you're going to need snake hooks. The next thing that I highly recommend is some sort of weigh scale. Now, you can get a scale at Walmart, you know, the food scale. I would definitely try to stick with digital, because they're just reads a lot better. This one I got from Vivarium Electronics. It's actually, it's awesome, man. I love this thing. It is a digital scale. You can put whatever that you want on top of this. Weighs it great. It's very important that you use a scale on your snakes, because say example, I have had snakes in the past that would go off of feed for a good like 6 to 7 months even, and you want to keep an eye on the weight of that snake in order to make sure it's not losing too much weight, because if it does, of course, that's not healthy at all. And you also want to keep an eye on your snake's weight in case it is gaining too much weight at one time. It could be that you're overfeeding. It could be that There's a sickness of some kind in the snake. Weighing your snakes is very, very, very important, guys. So moving on to the next thing. If you do not know the sex of your snake, and you absolutely want to know for 100% fact, 100% sure, there are 3 ways of doing that. There is by rubbing down the back of the tail. You will feel 2 bumps if it's a male. If not, no bumps. There is popping, and that is where you pop the hemipenes. If it's a male, the 2 hemipenes will pop out. If not, they won't. And then there is probing, which I like to use just because it's more accurate, I think. Oops, almost dropped them. So this is a probe kit, and what this does is you stick the ends of these right here, and I have some smaller ones here for the babies and stuff, but you stick this in the ventral scales of the snake, and according to the depth that it goes into the snake will determine the sex of the snake. If you guys would like a video on that, let me know down in the comments. I will gladly do one on snake probing and on snake sexing altogether. Alright, so let's see. A couple more things you're going to need for your enclosures is you're going to need humidity. How do you get up humidity? Well, you can either, one, use a humidifier inside of your room, which I have done in the past, and I do sometimes now. If it's like super dry months and all that, I will do it. Or you can use a mister. And I got this one, I think at Walmart. It's like $5. You pump it up, pump it up, pump it up, pump it up, you know, and then you spray it like that. And you spray your whole cage down. Now, I personally use cypress mulch, and that is only to hold the humidity better. And that's because I'm raising boa constrictors, blood pythons, and Burmese pythons. The blood pythons actually require just a little bit more humidity than a boa or a blood. Not a whole lot more, but just a little bit more. So I add in a little bit of sphagnum moss to hold even more humidity in the enclosure. Again, you can purchase those at Walmart for $5, or you can use a bean sprayer. Those are awesome as well. You know, you can get those $10, $20 depending on the sizes and all that stuff. They work great. As far as cleaning your enclosures, I have used in the past, I have used vinegar and water, which is great. It's all natural, will not hurt your snakes at all, and it is an incredible cleaning agent. But you're gonna have a little bit of that vinegar smell. You know, it will wear off in like minutes. It doesn't smell that bad at all. Or you can use a cleaning solution that veterinarian hospitals even use. It's called chlorhexidine solution. This is animal safe and tested. I have used this for years now, and it works incredible. So what you do is you mix it with some water in a spray bottle, and empty out all of the substrate in your cages. Spray it down good, wipe it down good. Everything, all the germs are killed, sanitizes everything, cleans great. This stuff is just amazing. I love this stuff. And of course you're gonna need, come on guys, it's a given, paper towels. These puppies are lifesavers. You will use these for everything, man. Wiping enclosures down, wiping your husbandry tools off, cleaning the whole cage. Sometimes you use this as bedding, even on the bottom of a baby's cage, something like that. Spray it down with water, holds humidity great. Easy cleanup. I've seen a lot of people use this. All right, guys. So, other than that, that's about all I have for today. Can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.